Hey everyone, so you're here to learn how to use graphs and charts and images in your academic essays. Well, before I show you how to do that, let's start with some basic considerations and a few guidelines. Does the illustration you want to use contribute to the reader's understanding or appreciation of the subject? The point here is don't use illustrations just for the sake of using them, so you have one or more that you would like to use. Gather the source information required for the MLA or APA or whatever format style you are using for your essay. You'll need to provide that information either with the illustration or in your works cited or tables, figures, or examples pages. Illustrations are like any other source, and you have to give them credit. Avoid using blurry, pixelated, or distorted illustrations. And remember that smaller images can become blurry as you enlarge them. And try to use JPEGs, TIFFs, or PNGs first. Word will allow you to use other file types, but these three are the best. Okay, so now let's learn how to insert an illustration and make it comply with MLA formatting guidelines. Find the place in your essay where the illustration is most relevant. Preferably, your readers should not have to leave the page to see the illustration. And I know this is not always possible, especially with large charts and graphs, but do try. Click on the Insert tab at the top of the page, select Pictures, and then select from this device if you've saved it to your computer. If it's in the cloud or in OneDrive, then select Online Pictures and then click and type your way to the file and then select the file. More than likely, the image will appear somewhere on your page that you don't want it to be, and that's because Microsoft Word has not learned how to read our minds yet. Beside the image, you'll see a little box with a black half circle and blue lines. Click on the box and select Square Text Wrap. Now drag your image into place. Do not put it in a place that forces your reader's eyes to jump over the image to continue reading the lines. Put it on the far right or the far left of your document, and here I will move this image to the right. When you see the green line appear, that is when you have hit your margin. Do not push your image beyond that line because it may not print. Now resize the illustration and move it around to get it just where you want it to appear. And the best way to resize the image is by grabbing and dragging from a corner. Corner grabs scale the image as it is resized. Now add a border to the illustration, just a plain thin border. Anywhere within the border of your picture, right-click and select Format Picture, and a new menu should pop up. In that menu, click on the paint bucket to get to the Fill and Line options. Click on Line and select Solid Line. Make sure that your line color is set to black and the width is thin. Here, 0.75 points is fine. Click out of that and your illustration should be good. Now you need to label your illustration. In my paragraph, I've asked the reader to look at Figure 1 for reference. Click on the Insert tab and this time click on the text box. And I always use the Draw Text Box option. A large cross will appear on your screen. Move it to just below the illustration and drag it so that a box is created below your illustration. Type in the name and number of the illustration and then at least enough source information so that your readers can find it in your works cited or reference pages. We don't want any borders around this text box, so right-click on the text box. When the menu pops up, click on the options for picture border and select No Border. Do it once again and click on Shape Fill and click No Fill. We just want to make sure that there is no colorization under your text. Now we want to move the text up to as close to the illustration as possible without crossing the border of our text, and you should be good to go. Remember, when you use an illustration, you have to tell your readers at a relevant point in your essay to see the illustration. If you have a large illustration, a graph, or a chart that takes up a half a page or more, do everything that we've done with this smaller one. Just make sure the sides of the illustration do not cross the margins on the sides of your essay. And depending on your illustration, here a drawing of an alligator, I gave enough information below the figure that I don't need to add more in a works cited page. In the graph on this page, I added enough information to tell the reader where the graph came from and so that they could find the citation in the works cited page. Well, that's all that I have for you here. I hope that you learned how to insert images into your academic essays. I would suggest that you still go to the MLA guidelines for more guidance. Go to OWL at Purdue. They have a lot of information on this topic at their website. Ask your teacher if they have any specific preferences about inserting images into your academic essays. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for watching Composition University, and I will see you next time.